Essentially, the Pakistan-India situation, if not relations, have been in a state of drift. And this is due especially due to two reasons. One are the internal factors, and then there is a whole lot of external factors that are impacting these relations. And as we look at the next year, 2017, I see that the pace of drifting apart may actually gain further traction and further strength. So therefore, I think in terms of the internal factors, the most important is the advent of a extreme right government in India, which is ideologically motivated. So in terms of the ideology, I think we have seen that being sort of forcefully being played out both domestically in India and generally in South Asia. Hyper-nationalism and the RSS Hindutva agenda is being stamped ruthlessly by the present ruling party in India. Internally also, Pakistan has been a factor in Indian domestic politics. If things get rough within India domestically, then they use the Pakistan card. Now, whether it is running pogroms against the minorities, the communalization agenda of the RSS that is being implemented, which is creating a lot of turmoil and turbulence domestically in India, I think these are some of the factors that inform the approach towards Pakistan. One element which is predominant in Indian approach to regional and global affairs is playing, maybe I think prematurely, the hegemon. They have invested in military hardware. They are trying to float a blue water navy. They are into, interfering in the affairs of smaller neighbors. And all these smaller neighbors in South Asia actually resent Indian domination and arrogance. Their problem with Pakistan is that Pakistan will never submit to Indian hegemony. We have always looked at a partnership, normalization of relations as equal partners. Flowing from the ideological orientation of the government in Delhi is the situation that is creating immense turmoil within India. There are 1/3 of the Indian territory is under active insurgencies. And you add to that the uprising in Kashmir. Now that is an uprising that is of great consequence, because this time the youth and the people of Kashmir, they have outpaced the political leaders, political parties, even the Hurriyat for that matter. So they are calling the shots, and the Indians are just at a complete loss how to deal with that situation. So I think these are some of the factors that are not going to alter in the near future. The uncertainties about the way any further developments, in terms of the dispersal of global power, how they shape up. Big questions about the new US administration, how it looks at the world, and particularly this part of the world, meaning South Asia and West Asia and Central Asia. And also, I think, the uprising in Kashmir. So I think the Indian strategists and the political masters are probably misreading and doing everything that is going to actually hurt them in the longer scheme of things. So 2017 looks to be more of the same. I don't see any prospects of a change taking place in the coming months. So Pakistan-India relations are, when things go wrong and nobody is prepared to invest political capital to improve the situation, then they go to the default state. And the default state is confrontation. And at the moment, as we see it, it is like, with the ceasefire violations and all the conflict, that they are, and the boasting about it, about the surgical strikes and stuff like that. It speaks of a mindset that is not inclined to accommodate or even accept the existence of Pakistan. I think as far as Pakistan is concerned, there is ample political space. All political parties, the people of Pakistan, and I think our institutions, including the military, they are very clear. Pakistan's strategic priority is development, for which we require internal stability, wholehearted focus on economic and social development. And what we require also is a stable neighborhood. And therefore, I think the reach out from the Pakistani side has been, very, very evident by this government and the previous government. And I think that narrative, that is to seek some sort of normalization on equal terms, will continue. But the problem is not in Pakistan. The problem is in New Delhi. BJP, despite having a 2/3 majority in the Lok Sabha, they have not been able to transact business in the Lok Sabha on domestic issues, on domestic legislation. So I think there is maybe not enough political space in New Delhi. And this is rather strange because Modi apparently is a strong leader. But if he is so indebted to the RSS, and the RSS treats Pakistan as not a foreign policy issue, but a domestic policy issue, which again, makes it evident that they are not inclined to accept Pakistan's existence, unless on their terms. So I think this is where the whole thing has gone wrong. And this is evident in what they are saying and doing. Isolate Pakistan. They have fractured, they have actually, put a full stop on SAARC. So the processes of regional cooperation, trade cooperation, economic integration have been actually disrupted by India's bid, to sort of corner Pakistan. Pakistan's foreign policy is moving in the right direction. What we have been, while of course we are part of Asia, we are part of the greater Asian region and the Eurasian scene, and we are getting closer there. But I think we have also made it quite clear to our American friends that we want to have the best of relations with the US. So if we get to a stage where we are seeing some initial, signs about that, for instance, eventually I see Afghanistan and Iran joining the Belt and the Road, and therefore taking advantage of Gwadar. I've been saying that Chabahar and Gwadar can grow together. That's the vision for a peaceful region, which is spiraling out from Pakistan, China, a zone of peace and prosperity and stability. That is, in my view, the only answer that we can probably provide to the turmoil and the chaos that we see in Afghanistan and further away. I mean, I'm talking of West Asia here.